Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Not Afraid to Garden. Today we're actually going to be propagating, and we're going to propagate the string of hearts. I know many of you guys are familiar with these string of hearts, so I've had some in water already, and I'm going to be planting those, but I have the, this is the regular string of hearts. And then I have the variegated string of hearts, both of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, again, the Keurig containers to propagate them in there because I do like to recycle. And right now I'm finishing up, cleaning up an avocado that I have in water. Look at that. And this avocado actually came from Puerto Rico, directly from Puerto Rico. But look at this, look at the size of these leaves. How gorgeous it is. And all I did was, again, just placed it in water, and then within a couple of weeks I started to get these roots here. So I was just changing the water, making sure that that stays nice and clean. And then I do keep her in here in this container. How beautiful. And again, she's just filled up, not all the way to the top. Most of it, actually, what I want to do is just cover the roots, not the inside itself. I don't know if you guys can see, there's the inside where that stem came up from. I don't want that covered with water because I don't want that to rot, to end up with root rot. So I'm just covering just enough water to cover the roots there. So I am done with that. We'll put that to the side. And then I have a little avocado seed in here also, just waiting for it to get roots. And then here are the two string of hearts that I've had in water in here, and I have roots already. If you guys can see, I see that. See if I can focus. Okay, see the roots there. And then on this one, actually this is not a root there, but the rest of it is a root. There's a root there, and I ended up with roots here on the node. You guys can see that. I have also roots on there. So technically, I can cut this plant in two, but I'm going to leave it together that way. But I started to clear this, so this is leftover Keurig containers that are so old that I can't use it. They're over a year old. And I'm just going to clear them out. This one doesn't have the filter inside, which is fine actually, because then I can put in as much of the soil in there. And I'm going to do the same thing to all of them here. And then what I do is I put the coffee grinds in my compost. And so I'm also using this for my compost. So these coffee grinds are going straight, and I'll show you what the compost looks like in a little bit. So that's really doing wonderful. And I have been able to use the soil from that compost because, again, I've been composting for a couple of years now. So I'm now able to use that soil, which is actually, I may say, maybe healthier than already the soil that I purchased. Because this one, again, it has the nutrients and everything that it needs. Because I do put scraps in there, food scraps and everything. So it is developing those nutrients that the soil needs to give us those healthy plants. Alright, so I'm only going to do 5 for today. I might probably end up using more later on, but for now I think I'm just going to use 5 of them. And here's my last one. Again, you got leftover old coffee Keurig containers that you don't use anymore. Why not go ahead and just recycle that plastic. All right, so this is for my compost, and then this is trash. So let me rinse them really quickly. Now this one doesn't have the little holes on the bottom, so I am going to have to put the little openings on the bottom because I don't want water to actually sit there. So let's go downstairs where we can do all of this. Okay, so here's my compost, and I'm trying to dig out some of that soil because the best soil is further in. This is the fresh materials that I'm putting in. All right, so the problem is this is the opening to the compost, but the windows are they're on the way. So I could have just opened this and gone in further down and grabbed the soil, but let me show you a little bit of this. So here in the front, this is the soil. Look how nice and healthy that soil is. Further back is a little bit of the newer material that I have put in. It's been sitting there, but this is what I want. Look how nice and healthy that soil is. Look at that. And this is probably at least 2 years worth, 3, of composting. So what I'm looking for is what it's up more up front. I'm gonna have to clear out a little bit of this stuff, and I'm grabbing some of the materials that are still fresh in there. And what I want is more of the consistency of that soil. All right, I think I have enough. Let's go back in. All right, so I put everything down there in that table I'm going to be using, and as you guys can see, it's that time again. I have to bring in all my plants from outside, so I've started already. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of plants in here, and I still have many more plants to come to bring in and put them in that area there. But everything is filling up very, very quickly. You just don't realize how many plants you have until you gather them all together in one spot. And again, this is just one greenhouse. The outside greenhouse is packed also. So yeah, I'm running out of room. Okay, let's get started. All right, as you can see, I did take the soil out of the compost. I brought it in here. I brought the avocado plant, which is where I keep it here in this area. And then let's get started on this. So what I like to do is, again, I've got 2 of the string of hearts here, and then I've got 5 of those containers. But these containers don't have any holes on the bottom, so I will have to make holes on them. So I'm going to take you to the other area of the basement where I'm going to do that. All right, so here is the tool that I use to make those holes. And actually, this is what I use to make those holes on the orchid pots, on those clear orchid pots. But this is hot already, it's been sitting there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the back here, and I'm just going to make one little hole on the center. That way the soil, the water will come through. And I'm just going to do it right in the center. And this happens very quickly. I mean, this tool is very useful. Makes holes instantly, very quick. Gotta be careful, it gets very hot. I'm done. I turn it off up here, and then it pretty much just sits there, and it will cool off on its own. Okay, let's go back. All right. So here are the 5 containers, as you guys can see here. And my soil, let's use a smaller shovel. I'm going to use this one. And I'm just going to fill them in with the soil. All right, now the string of pearls, let me show you a larger plant. And actually, let me bring you with me here. So here is the one that I'm going to be grabbing some of the cuttings. Look how beautiful this string of pearl is. Actually, let me just show you a little bit more easier this way. So it starts here. I did plant a couple of other ones in there. Look how good they're nice they're coming in. And then the plant just goes all the way down to here, pretty much. So in here, this plant, what it produces is these little round little balls there. And that is where you will have to cut. You can put it in water so you can get roots, or you can put it straight in the soil, which what I've done also. Here's another one. So once you have these, you can cut it right above it, cut right up here, and then the rest of it becomes your plant. And there, oh, look at this big one here. This one actually, the roots want to emerge from here. Again, you cut it right here, right up here, and then you plant it in your new flower pot. So let's go ahead and let's cut a couple of these. So I've got 2 already. Now the problem with this is this always tangles up and I have to untangle it. I'm going to cut this one. I'm going to cut it right there. Right there. I'll have to pick it up wherever it fell from. And then I'm going to cut the bottom one. Oh, here's a nice small one there. I'll cut it right above it. Cut it right above. That's 2. I need one more. Maybe this one. Okay, I'm going to cut this one. Right above it. All right, there's my 3. All right, so here we are. I have the 5 here. So 1, 2, 3. It's the pink string of hearts, and then this is the regular string of hearts that I have. This one I have in the greenhouse outside, and this one I have in the greenhouse in the basement here. So let's place them in here so that way we can start to have them grow. It's pretty simple. Again, you want to make a little hole in the center. I'm going to start with this one, just so you guys can see. I snipped this up here, and then look how beautiful she is. And she has kind of like the big pink sort of in the back. And sometimes you can see the, actually this one's a little bit more pink than the other one. You guys notice that? Alright, so you take this little ball here. I'm trying to find what the actual name of this is, but I just find them kind of curious that they grow this. But it makes it a whole lot easier to propagate them. You put that inside the soil and just put a little bit of the soil on top of it. You don't have to cover it completely. It will grow those roots. See how I planted it in there? It's more like a 3/4 of a way in there. And then here she is hanging. And that's what you're going to do with every single one of them. Again, make that opening, bring it over, and snip these strings that it has here because there's nothing growing on them. Just to make it easier to place it in there. Place it in there. Put some of the soil on top. Don't have to cover it completely. And let's repeat that process 3 more times, or as many that you have. Now let's do the regular string of hearts. These already have roots. I'm just going to plant them in there. And my last one. And there they are. These two I covered completely. That's okay. That's because that little ball is smaller, so it went in there. So here they are. You see them hanging on there. See that? How beautiful they look. And now all I have to do is water them and place them somewhere where they're going to get. Down here I have to grow lights. As you guys can see, it's right above me. I'll show you in a minute. And then I've got a fan that's actually right now on, and the air is flowing. When I water them, I put the air on because the fan on because I don't want them to get too the humidity to be too high here where they can get mold. Because again, I am indoors, I am in the basement, and I want to make this environment, you know, just a little bit as if it was a greenhouse. So I need airflow, and I also need high humidity, and I need the warmth in here for these plants to grow. So let me show you something that I created. So I had an extra Keurig holder. I didn't know what to do with it, so I decided to put my plants in there, and look at that. So all my plants are in here, and now all I do is this. Voila! And look, they're hanging from there. But let me water them. And I have to do it very lightly. So I'm going to water them here. Actually, I'm going to make that a jet, but then I put it nice and light. There we go. It's the easiest. Nice to have water here available. All right, that water's got to flow through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and place them in here. But I need that water to go through first because it'll spill. So let's wait for them to actually soak through. And once they soak through, I can place it in here. Actually, this one already did, so let's place that one in there. So I have that one hanging. And I have it on the middle shelf here because it's got the string that's hanging down. Preferably, I would prefer it further up on the top. Here's a fern that I have growing in there. There's a pink syngonium. Not pretty? And actually, just so look at this. I propagated a string of pearls. You guys see that? String of pearls is so easy to propagate. Cut a piece, put it right on the top of the soil. It'll start to grow roots. And look, they're started to grow in. I've got some succulents here, and we've got little baby plants growing right on the tips on them there. I think I'm going to move this one. Take this one out. Put this one down here. And now I can bring this one up here because it can hang further down. Right there. See how nice it hangs? Let me find another one. I'll take this succulent and look at this little baby plant growing there. And this one I can place it down here. And let's place one of the long ones here. Place it up there. And oh, I've got another space available here. I have two. One and two. All right, we've got a full house now. I put a tray on the bottom. It picks up the water when I water them. And there you go. See that? So this is a Keurig tray filled with plants that I am propagating. Okay, so I am done. And here's my, again, my finished result. And I place them in here. And then again, I keep them down here. And my kalanchoes, as you guys can see, I did the same thing with kalanchoes. They're growing out. Eventually, I will have to, again, move them out of here. But look at that. So these Keurig containers, I mean, they're nice to just have and recycle. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any ideas, you have any Keurigs, containers, again, we throw them away all the time, guys, and this will never disintegrate in our soil. So put them to good use and definitely use them to propagate your plants. Start any plants that you need to start. I mean, they're just starters, but they really do come in handy. So definitely use them if you have them. And again, you have a Keurig little container like this, a little rack like this that sometimes you have nothing to do with it. Actually, I was going to put it in the trash, but I thought about this, so I'm definitely using it for this purpose. So I will be working down here in the greenhouse more often now that the fall is here, and I have all my plants pretty much, they're all going to be down here, and then I can just go over to the other greenhouse and then work on my plants over there. That's the one thing I like about the winter. There's only two places I can go to directly, which is here and the other greenhouse where all of the plants are stored, all my babies all together, which I love when I have them all together, because in one view I can look at everything all at one time. So thank you again for checking out my video, and I will see you next week. Peace.